Are you struggling with making cut together waistband pants? Ever wondered how they sew corporate trousers elastic halfway around the waist area? In this video, I am going to be sharing how I made this lovely two-piece. It's a pant and a crop shirt with lapel or camp collar and leather design sleeve. The measurements and materials needed is on your screen, guys. Here with me is 3.5 yards of fabric. This border design here, I want it to be at the down part of the trouser, so I will just cut it out and join it later. First, place your fabric on fold and come down by 2.5 inches for the waistband. I will shift small and mark out the 2.5 inches again. I am doing this because the waistband will be cut together with the trouser. This trouser has no zip or any attached band. In our last trouser tutorial, we cut the band separately before joining. If you prefer to cut your trouser waistband separately, check the video card that just appeared at the top right of your screen, or later you check the description box for it. But for this very pant tutorial, I will cut everything together. This method is very simple and unique. You are going to love it. Just keep watching. So after marking out the 2.5 inches, I will get a ruler to draw a straight line on the marks. After that, this line becomes our waistline, also a guideline for taking other measurements. I will place my tape on the waistline and come down by 9 inches, which is the waist to hip measurement. I will shift to this other side and mark it out again so as to get a straight line. After marking it out with my chalk and ruler, I will get my tape and come down by 11 inches. That's for the crotch depth measurement. Please, if you don't know your crotch measurement, divide your hip by 4 to get it. After marking out the crotch depth measurement at 11 inches, I will draw a straight line on the mark. Sorry, my chalk is not so visible. That's because of the kind of fabric I am working with. So next is to mark out the knee length. That's from the waist to hip, depending on how free you want your pants to be. I want mine to get free from 17 inches. So I marked out 17 inches, shifted and marked it out again so as to get a straight line. Please, my measurement and yours must not be the same. Just measure yourself and use your own body measurement to avoid mistake. Your knee length can be 18 or 19 inches depending on your height. You can still come up to 15 or 16 inches depending. After marking out the knee length, the next thing I'm going to do is to place my tape on the knee length line and locate the midpoint. I will mark it out with my chalk very well. Also come up to the crotch depth line and locate the midpoint. Then mark it out with my chalk as well. Next, I will place my tape on the waistline and mark out my trouser or pant length measurement, which is 39 inches, plus 2 inches seam and hemming allowance. That's 41 inches. Please go ahead and mark out your own trouser length measurement. This right here is a border at the other end of my fabric. I like it and I want it to appear at the down part of my trouser, so I decided to cut it out and add it to my trouser. After marking out my trouser length, I placed it like this and subtracted the length from the length of my trouser length. After, I will cut it and replace it. Please ignore this part. I did it just because of the border placement. Thank you. So let's continue, guys. After marking out the length of the trouser, I will get my ruler and chalk and draw a straight line on the mark. Next, I will place my tape on the trouser length line and locate the midpoint. After marking out the midpoint, I will go up a little and also mark out the midpoint so as to get a straight line. I will place my ruler on the midpoint of the crotch length line and also at the midpoint of the knee line, and then draw a straight line. Also come down and connect the straight line to the midpoint of the trouser length line. Next, I will divide my hip measurement by 4 plus 1.5 inch seam allowance. 44 divided by 4 is 11 plus 1 inch seam allowance. I will mark it out at 12 inches here on the crotch line. Shift up to the waistline and mark it out as well. I will get a ruler and connect everything together like this with a vertical line. Next, for the crotch curve, I will mark out 2 inches here. Locate the midpoint of the crotch depth and mark it out. Come up here by 1 inch and mark it out. Then get my curve and connect the 3 dots together, thereby forming the crotch curve. Normally, we are supposed to take the waist measurement, the dart measurement and all that, but because this trouser has no zip and it's a halfway elastic waistband, I will just leave the waist that way such that it's same measurement up and down the hip. When I attach the elastic, it will automatically shape the trouser very well. Just keep watching this method. It's the easiest method to sew your pants. So next is the upper thigh measurement. My round thigh measurement is 26 inches. Divided by 2 is 13 inches. So now I'm going to divide the 13 inches by 2 again. That will be 6.5 inches. I will place my tape like this at the center of the crotch depth line and mark out 6.5 inches plus half or 1 inch seam allowance. After marking it out for this side, I will shift to this other side and mark it out as well. That's it for the upper thigh measurement. For the lower thigh measurement, mine is 20 inches. Divided by 2 is 10 inches. Dividing the 10 inches by 2 again, I have 5 inches plus half or 1 inch seam allowance. After marking it out on this side, I will move to this other side and mark it out again. Please don't forget to add your seam allowance. Next, I will come down to the hemline and repeat the same thing that I just marked out on the knee line. Next is to connect everything together. I will get my curve and ruler, place it like this and connect this line from the crotch down to the knee length and from the knee length line down to the trouser length or hem line. After connecting that side, I will come over to this other side, place my ruler like this and connect from the crotch line to the knee line and down to the hem line. Guys, for the waistline, as you can see, this fabric is a bit stretchy. So because of that, I will come up to the crotch depth line and go in by ½ inch. Get my curve and redraw the crotch line, making sure the chalk is very visible. After marking it out, next I will get my scissors and start cutting. Getting to this side seam part, just cut it straight like that. After cutting, come to this our waistline at these 2.5 inches and notch both sides with your scissors, so as to remember that is where our cut together waistband will start from. We are going to fold it like this before inserting the elastic. This is my border. I have gone ahead to cut and replace it at the hem part. Before I start sewing, guys, I will go ahead and join it to the main piece. Please remember that this border thing is just for me because I want it to appear at the hem part of my pants. So please do not be confused. Guys, for the back, I will get the remaining fabric, place it on fold like this. Get the front piece we just cut and place it on the fabric so as to use it and trace out the back pattern. First, on the starting line, which is automatically the waistline, I will come down by 2 inches. After marking it out with my chalk, I will draw a straight line with my ruler on the mark and place the front pattern with the waist directly on the 2 inches mark like this. I will place it and arrange it very well. Then come down to the crotch depth line and mark out 2 inches on the back pattern. I will come down small and mark it out again. This means that on the back pattern, this very crotch side from the waist down to the hemline should be extended by 2 inches. Next, I will come up here at the crotch depth and mark out 2 inches. Continue marking it out for this crotch region all the way up to the waistline. I am done marking it out, as I believe my chalk is visible enough now so you guys can see it better. As you can see, I have marked it from the waistline down to the hemline. Just for this inner seam side, please. The outer seam side remains the same. I will get my curve and curve out the back crotch well with my chalk. Also come down here and mark out a straight line on this inner seam line of the back pattern. Mark it down to the hemline. Next is to slant the back waist. I will place my ruler like this and slant the back waistline from the back crotch depth line down to the side line. I will also slant the front waist. Place your tape on the front crotch and come down by 0.75 inch. After marking it out, I will get my ruler and slantly connect from the 0.75 inch up to the front side waistline like this. Make sure it's visible enough to avoid mistake. Next, I will get my scissors and start cutting the back pattern. I'll cut through the lines we just marked out. After cutting this side, I will cut the inner seam side. Next, I will slightly cut the back waist and the front waist. I will also cut out this border for the hem part of the back trouser pattern. As you can see, it's 2, just like the front one. I will get my scissors and notch the 2.5 inches at the waist of my back pattern so as to remember where my band will start from. Make sure to notch both sides to avoid mistake. That will be all for the cutting part. To start sewing, get the front pattern and sew the crotch region first with 1/2 inch, just as my index finger is directing. Also get the back pattern and sew the crotch region too. This is it, guys. After joining the crotch, this is what I have. I have also joined this border to the hem part of my trouser and I love what I am seeing already. This is the back piece. I have joined the crotch too. Next, I will place them like this, right side of the back piece facing the right side of the front piece. I will place and arrange it this way so as to sew the inner seam area. I will first show you guys with my office pin, then take it to my sewing machine, stitch it down and show you guys what it looks like. This is it, guys. I have joined the inner seam area and this is what it looks like. Very neat. The next thing I'm going to do, I will arrange it properly like this. Join the front and back side together and stitch it down with the seam allowance we added while cutting. Also arrange this side and stitch it down. I am done sewing and this is what it looks like. Our trouser is forming already, guys. I know you guys will be wondering about the trouser pockets. Yes, this is where I should have added it, right? But I did the invisible pocket method for this trouser. This is because I had to manage and join some pieces to form the pocket. So I added the pocket after I was done sewing the trouser. I have a video on how to sew and attach the invisible pocket to the side seam of your dress. Check out the video card that just appeared at the top right of your screen to watch it now. That's for subscribers. But if you don't want to subscribe, do not worry, I will still attach it to the description box below so you can watch it later after the class. I will turn it right side out and show you guys how to fix the elastic halfway around the waist area. The first thing I'm going to do is to locate that our 2.5 inches we notched earlier. Confirm it first with my tape. Then start folding it like this. As I fold, I pin it down with my office pin. I will continue folding and pinning it down all around like this. Getting to the center front waist, please watch closely. This part won't have elastic inside it. I will place my tape on the center like this and mark out 5 inches with my chalk. Make sure it's visible enough. I will come to this other side and mark out 5 inches again with my chalk. That's a total of 10 inches at the front waist. I will place my tape close to the 5 inches mark and mark out another 1 inch on both sides. The 1 inch on both sides will be for the elastic passing. Next, I will fold the band like this and start sewing through. Getting to the 5 inches, you double stitch and jump that 1 inch we added. Don't sew on the 1 inch space. Leave it for elastic and continue sewing all round like this till you get to the other end. Double stitch again and jump the 1 inch space. Please don't sew through the 1 inch. Leave it for the passing of the safety pin and then continue sewing through till you get to the other stitch. Then stop. It means that these 10 inches at the front here, we won't pass elastic through it. It won't have ruffles. It will appear very plain when you wear it on your body. You can decide to make yours shorter or longer to like 12 inches or so, depending on how plain you want yours to be. We will go ahead and stitch it down. This is it, guys. I am done stitching it down. Here is the 1 inch opening I jumped. Make sure yours is like this. Next, I will get my 1 inch elastic. My round waist measurement is 32 inches. The length of my elastic is 16 inches because of the 10 inches left at the front area and also because my fabric is a bit stretchy. Next, I will attach the elastic to a safety pin first. Through the 1-inch opening, I will start passing the elastic with the help of the safety pin. As you push it in, you adjust it with your hands. As you push it, make sure the elastic doesn't disappear inside the band. Please watch closely again. Getting to this end of the elastic, as you gently insert it, please do not leave it. Kindly double stitch on it first. After double stitching on it, you come down here and finally stitch up the 1-inch space we created. Make sure to do this first before you continue pushing the elastic in. I have stitched it up and here I am pushing in the elastic. I will continue pushing it till I get to this other end. Then from this other 1-inch space we created, I will take out the safety pin and adjust everything very well. Do not allow the elastic to disappear inside the band. I will carefully take the remaining elastic back inside, double stitch on it, and also cover this other 1-inch space we created earlier. This is it, guys. It's already secured. The front part of the waist is plain, while the back is ruffled up because of the elastic. Come down to the down part of your pant and hem it with the hem allowance we added earlier while cutting. Guys, for the crop shirt tutorial video, subscribe and on your notification bell now so that you will be the first to be notified whenever I upload the video. Later, I will attach it to the description box too. Click on this picture to subscribe now so you don't forget. Please give me a thumbs up if this was helpful. Drop a nice comment and share this video with your friends. Thank you so much for watching till now. See you guys in my next one. Bye.